Today, we're diving into a really powerful message from an ancient text. This isn't just any teaching. It's one of the Buddha's final warnings, delivered in his last year of life, literally right before his final passing. So you know this is an urgent, critical plea.
So what was it? What was this final, absolutely critical message? What could possibly be so important that it had to be the very last thing he wanted everyone to hear? Okay, so let's set the scene. The Buddha is about to enter final nirvana, and this massive assembly gathers to hear his last words. We're talking gods, spirits, humans, bodhisattvas, beings from all across the universe. It's like the entire cosmos is holding its breath, just waiting for this one final teaching. And here it is. The core of his message is this incredibly stark warning. The Buddha says that if you cause division, if you create sects and tell people, hey, this is our way, not that way, that's a form of slander, not just against a person, but against the Dharma itself. Now, to make sure this point landed with absolute clarity, he didn't just issue a command, he told a story, and a deeply personal one at that, from one of his own past lives countless eons ago. The story he tells is all about two monks, two teachers who had, let's just say, two very, very different ways of sharing the path. And you can see the contrast right here. On one side, you've got monk Jingming. His name means pure name. He's this incredible master of countless texts, and he's known for being able to adapt his teachings to fit whoever he's talking to, bringing all the different paths together. Then, on the other side, you have monk Fa, which means Dharma. He's also very learned, but he's rigid. He teaches only one single doctrine, emptiness, and he goes around publicly calling monk Jingming impure and ignorant just for not sticking to his one narrow method. So after laying out this story of conflict and criticism, the Buddha does something totally unexpected. He reveals who these two monks actually were. This is the moment where the teaching becomes incredibly personal. I mean, who were these two guys? And here's the twist. The wise, adaptable monk Jingming, that was a previous incarnation of the great Amitabha Buddha, and the rigid, critical monk Fa, the one who slandered him, that was the Buddha himself, Shakyamuni Buddha, in a past life. So think about what that means. This whole story is a confession. The Buddha is using his own massive mistake from a past life to deliver his final urgent warning. And he does not hold back on the consequences. He lays out, with shocking precision, the immense price he paid for slandering a fellow practitioner, all because he was stubbornly attached to his own views. For that one act of slander, he spent 80 eons in hell. Just let that number sink in. We're not talking 80 years, not even 80 lifetimes. 80 eons, an almost unimaginable length of time to suffer for one mistake. And you'd think that would be the end of it, right? But no. After all that time in hell was finally over, the karmic debt still wasn't paid. He was reborn as an animal for 9 million lifetimes. And following that, he spent another 6 million lifetimes reborn into poverty, and, this is the most telling part, he was born mute, unable to speak. The karma for his verbal slander was to be robbed of his own voice for millions of lives. So, this is all pretty terrifying, right? But this isn't just a story meant to scare us. After confessing his mistake and its horrifying price, the Buddha gives us a very clear, actionable guide on how we can avoid this same fate and cultivate unity instead. He lays out 4 principles. First, the foundation is simple kindness. Don't have any ill will towards anyone. Second, practice humility. Don't get into arguments with other teachers just to prove you're right. Third, have some self-awareness. If your own understanding is still developing, definitely don't go around slandering those who might have deeper wisdom. And finally, keep this unifying perspective. Remember that all these skillful teachings ultimately come from the exact same enlightened source. And then, he just boils the entire attitude down into one profound instruction. He says that when you encounter another practitioner, doesn't matter their path or their method, you should see them as a Buddha. Just think to yourself, I am seeing a Buddha standing right here in front of me. That one single thought, it changes everything. And so this ancient warning leaves us with a very modern question, doesn't it? In a world that is just so full of disagreement and division, both in spiritual circles and, well, everywhere else, how can we stay dedicated to our own path, to our own truths, without falling into that trap of belittling, criticizing, or slandering the paths of others? That's the challenge this final teaching really leaves us with.